Hello, divine creation. Since there's just one of you, divine creation, you, divine marvel. Oh, now there's two people on. Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. And a warm welcome to anyone watching the recording of this video. Thank you so much for dropping by. And so today, right here, right now, we're going to do two things. Going to take in some good energy. Good evening, Melanie. We're going to take in some good energy and we're going to take in some good thoughts. And specifically, we're going to take in some thoughts that can literally help guide our life. So, first of all, taking in the good energy. Please sit with your legs uncrossed, feet flat on the floor, hands on your legs, palms facing upwards, back in a upright, relaxed posture, not slouched and not stiff, somewhere in between. If possible, not leaning against your chair. Then close your eyes. And have the desire, the intention to receive good energy, healing energy, to be connected to God, to be purified of everything not good. Make an affirmed determination that we don't want to have anything to do with evil anymore. That we fully separate ourselves from everything not good. Handing it over to God or to a spiritual helper or a friend that we trust. And then taking this metaphor very seriously, that we're like a radio antenna, that we can tune in to what's good. We've just sadly have the habit of tuning in and focusing on to what's not good. So we're breaking that habit and starting a new habit. And then begin to observe the body, having the intention to draw in, to receive this good energy and take it into our bodies. The way to do that, notice what you feel, and notice what you feel while having the intention to take this energy in. Observing the body. If you have a spiritual helper you trust, you can ask them for help to receive this energy. If you don't have a spiritual helper, Bruno Groening offered himself as someone who could help us to make the divine connection and receive this good energy. So observing the body, noticing what you feel. Taking in the good. Once again, noticing what you feel. So here's a quote from Bruno Groening. When a piece of clothing becomes dirty, it must be cleaned. Everything has to be cleaned. But man has not thought of cleaning himself. He has thought of everything. All respect to him. I don't know, I think that's maybe a bad translation, but all respect to him. Man has created a lot on this earth, but he doesn't think of himself. His outer appearance is pure and clean to look at, but it's only outside the body. But he has not gotten around to cleaning up his inside. Oh boy. So, according to Bruno Groening, all of our problems stem from having taken on evil, which in essence means that in this body, this body has literally become dirty from the energy of evil. And that's what needs to be cleaned. And from that, then, then our problems slowly but surely can be lifted over time if we take care of the actual cause. Bruno Groening pointed out that all illness has a spiritual cause. And so this is the difference between what we can call Western medicine and it's the technical term is allopathic medicine and spiritual healing. Allopathic medicine, in essence, treats the symptom. If you have, let's say, you have acid indigestion, it'll just give your body, it'll give you chemicals that'll make your body produce less acid. Case closed, but not really. That takes us to naturopathic medicine, which says, well, your body's producing too much acid for a reason. Let's understand the reason. Perhaps it's your diet, perhaps your gallbladder is out of balance. And so naturopathic medicine seeks to address the physical cause and also the emotional, and to some extent the energetic cause. And then we get to spiritual healing, which says, okay, we're not going to chase the symptom of acid in the stomach. And we're not going to, let's say it's the gallbladder. We're not going to chase the imbalance in the gallbladder that's producing the extra acid. We're just going to remove evil. We're going to remove this nasty, yucky, vicious energy that's the root of all of our problems. And so, as Bruno points out here, human beings have tried everything else. And that we're very good at looking good on the outside, but we haven't done enough inner cleaning, which is where the cause of our problems stem from. So let's take a little time and reflect on this. First of all, see if you agree with Bruno Groening that all illness, all problems um, have a spiritual cause. And if that you believe that fundamental cause is in fact what Bruno called Bosse, which is German for viciousness, nastiness, or evil. Taking in the good, reflecting on this. What does Bruno Groening mean? I need to clean out the inside. What does he mean it's gotten dirty? What does he mean we've tried everything else? Continuing to observe the body. taking in the good. It's a bit of a bitter pill to swallow that we're the cause of our own misfortune. And it also means that we can step out of victim mode. And it also means we can step out of life isn't fair and thoughts like that. It's not always so comfortable to be like, oh, this is going on when something bad happens to us. And that, oh, this, that somehow I am a participant in it. And yet that discomfort is a lot, to me, it feels a lot better than, the feeling of why is this happening? Life isn't fair. That's a really yucky feeling. So I'm going to read another quote from Bruno. Oh my gosh, I was just thinking of this, and this is the page I opened to. Page 96 from Powers of the Spirit, my favorite book. One of my favorite, yeah, definitely my favorite Bruno Groening book. I must indeed know more, see more, hear more, and feel more than other people, so that I can know who can be helped and who cannot, or may not yet be freed from their present afflicted condition, because they do not yet have any spiritual ripeness or maturity of their own, or because they must learn something from it. However, no one has the right to devalue or condemn a person who has not yet experienced full and complete healing. God alone has the necessary overview and power to ordain a healing at the time which is most beneficial for the spiritual maturity of the individual concerned. So here's where patience and trust comes in. That doesn't mean that we don't strive for a healing. In fact, I'll finish reading the quote. Bruno said, "It is therefore so important to see clear that healing can only be acquired, erlangen, and never required, verlangen." So we can strive for a healing, but we can't demand it. We can't make it happen. We can do the right thing to set the stage for it, such as tuning in and giving it away and not thinking about it, not talking about it unless it's necessary to. And then there's this other piece of surrendering to God, which is not the easiest thing to do, right? Because as human beings, we want what we want when we want it. And usually it's like, I want it right now. Tomorrow at the latest, but I want it now. And I'm making fun of myself because everything I'm saying right now about patience and trust and surrender is something that I work with every day. And really taking to heart that God's in charge. Um, that that there is a plan that even includes that where even illness can have a part in us. As Bruno said, there's a lesson to be learned, or we may not have the spiritual maturity yet. So let's take a little bit of time and really reflect on this. Can we trust as we strive for something? Can we also trust that everything is in God's hands? Really observing the body, taking in the good, taking on trust that if something hasn't healed yet, there's a reason for it. That doesn't mean we have to like it, but at the minimum to accept it and to trust that there's an underlying order happening. What's the word I'm looking for? That there's a spiritual process at work. Again, that we might not like, but to trust that God's hand is with us always. Taking in the good. I just typed a comment about focusing, and that's one of the German word Einstellen that Bruno described. This taking in of energy. It has many meanings, and one of them is to focus. So focusing on receiving this signal. Someone who's been on this path for a long time says whenever something problematic happens, he visualizes a banner falling from the heavens that says, lesson. And when I first heard that, I'm like, that's ridiculous. That's silly. But it's very profound to look at every challenging situation as a lesson from God. Bruno Groening said, this is school. He called it play school, actually. So, yes, we're here to have fun as we learn. My understanding is life is meant to be a joyful, not necessarily easy, but a joyful learning experience. So, what would our life looks like? Because the thing is, when a problem happens, my habit was, and I'm breaking it, and I think many people's habit is, oh no, why is this happening? Or oh, this is awful, or ah. And what if instead, when challenges happen, we're like, oh, lesson. Don't like it. And oh, okay, there's something. We have an expression in English, a silver lining, meaning that they say every cloud has a silver lining. Because, everyone likes a sunny day. And when there's a big cloud, it's like, oh, it blocks the sun. And then there's probably going to be rain. And the idea being every cloud has a silver lining. And again, it sounds like a cliche, but to really think that way, to really think everything, even the things we don't like, especially the things we don't like, have some gift and some lesson. But don't take my word for it. Don't take Bruno Groening's word. He said, the fate of the world is steered by God. Only things that serve as a lesson are allowed to happen. So we can take that, but then we need to really reflect on it and come to our own conclusion whether or not that's true. Taking in this good energy, focusing, tuning, attuning to God with the help of our dear friend Bruno Groening. Really taking in the good, really observing our bodies. taking in the good, wanting the good. Looking at let's we don't want to dwell on problems, but let's think of a problem. It doesn't have to be something big, and look at it through the eyes, the perspective Bruno Groening is offering. Um, that everything is a lesson, or everything. Let's just keep it really simple. That there's learning or good in everything that happens. And let's take a small problem and just think for a minute and look at the problem instead of through the eyes of, oh my God, this is a problem. What am I going to do? It's like, okay, this is a lesson. What can I learn from this? How can I grow? What's the opportunity? That's not to say we won't take good action or right action. Just really observing, really noticing. So we looked at today the idea of cleaning the inside, that as human beings, we're very good at tinkering and rearranging so that the outside looks good. But Bruno Groening reminds us that our problems stem from inner uncleanliness, and that we need to really clean that up. We also looked at the idea um, that if something doesn't heal, it sticks around for a reason. It's that there's a growth or a learning opportunity. We looked at the different kinds of approaches to healing. Allopathic, just suppress the symptoms. Naturopathic, what's the physical cause? What's the physical imbalance? Spiritual healing, at least as taught by Bruno Groening, what's the underlying spiritual imbalance? And going for things at their root. And that's not to discourage anyone from going to a naturopath or a medical doctor if they feel the need for that. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We'll be doing this. I'm not sure we will be doing this again soon. For anyone who's new to this channel, if you'd like more information on this topic, you can visit my website, www.thehealingstream.org. And you can also either subscribe to this channel or just come back by. I currently am doing these a couple times a day, so you'll see when the next live one is. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you for creating this strong energetic field together, even though we're all around the world. It feels so good for me, and that's other people say that's their experience too. So let's close with a minute of silence, taking in the good, really asking to be freed from all evil and being asked to be shown, what do I need to do? What's the next step? What's the next right thing on my spiritual path? Oh, thank you, Melanie. Take care, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Take care. Much love.